Hello everybody and welcome to Letterboxd Book Club. My name is Claire.
And I'm Mackenzie.
And today we are discussing Love Letters to a Serial Killer by Tasha Coryell? Coryell? I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name.
I just said coral, but
Coral. Coryell? I don't know. And this was an arc sent to us by... And this book was sent to us by Hatchet. It was intended to be an arc reading, but we have been catching up on the arcs. So by the time this episode is released, this book has already been out, and it's been out for a while. And yeah, can't wait to discuss it with you. Very intriguing.
I will take us away with the blurb.
Mm-hmm. And pre-apologies if there's any, windy background noise. It's really windy around here.
Oh yeah, it's really stormy.
Storms are brewing.
Alright. Hannah's love life, dying. Career, dead. New pen pal, dead lead. Hannah Wilson can't text her ex again. It's too sad. She can't snap back at the new boss who took her promotion either. She'll be fired. But what she can do is write a series of furious letters to William Thompson, arrested for the murders of multiple women he got close to. You're a monster. I hope you know that. I want you to listen when I tell you that I'll never be able to go on a date again without thinking of you. Every moment I will wonder whether he wants to love me or murder me. Hannah's shocked when William writes back, each response more surprising than the last. And as communication tips from curiosity to obsession, Hannah has to wonder if William might be innocent and whether she even wants him to be.
Wonderful. Love that. Thoughts, feelings, and emotions, Kenzie?
Yes, I absolutely loved this book. I ate this book up. I read this book in 3.5 hours in one sitting because I could not get enough of it. I loved it. I knew there was going to be a twist, and I called the twist from the start.
Oh,
well, not
okay.
from the start, but I called it when I had enough information. Yeah, I loved this book. I will get into more plotty things when we get into it, but yes, overall, I loved this book.
Love it for you. Good, good. My thoughts, feelings, and emotions. I enjoyed this book as well. It's very much like a palate cleanser, very easy, quick read, relatively simple story with a couple of twists and turns towards the end, of course. I just loved that it was almost like a light-hearted commentary on women and their interests in crime, criminal...
True crime.
True crime, that's it, yeah. It's funny, I had all this planned out what I was going to say hours ago, and of course when the time comes, I fuck it up. But yeah, women's obsession with true crime and serial killers in general, which it made this book more enjoyable, because it's you're just looking back at, the women of society and just having a bit of a chuckle, because, we see that on a day-to-day basis.
It felt very meta.
It did, yeah, and it's a good kind of meta, not in a cringy, why is this so relevant sort of meta. Yeah, Hannah is a very confusing character, which makes her a little bit intriguing. Yeah, I loved it. It was simply structured. You had 3 parts, pre-murdering events or as the murdering events were happening, and then you have the trial, and then you have post-trial outcome and life after that, etc. Yeah, it was wonderful. Not as violent as I thought it was going to be, but again, it's meant to be a light-hearted, not super serious sort of book.
Yeah. Let's get into it. We open in an undisclosed location, and Hannah is tied up and essentially being monologued at, etc. And so you think, oh my god, because she wrote these letters, she's being kidnapped or whatever by the serial killer, and you think the worst, because of course you do. Well, it is kind of the worst case scenario, but the person who has kidnapped her isn't really identified yet.
No.
So
I liked that.
Yeah, same. And I also liked undisclosed location, because that's always thing, and it's always never let anyone take you to a secondary undisclosed location.
Yeah, no. And I liked that, yeah, in the beginning of Hannah and the situation occurs in the beginning of each part, as gives us a little insight as to what I suppose the next part is it going to be about. And I love that she is really just musing and lamenting about how she got into this position, and the way she delivered all the backstories and the worldly information and society information. I thought it was really creative, and it was great. Because often we would follow the main character and figure out when the main character's figuring things out, but again, it was just all as if she's retelling us how she got in this position and all the information surrounding it, and I thought, yeah, that was great.
So my first it's not really qualm, I don't know, I hated Hannah.
Oh, you don't know, I hated her too. No.
Yeah, I just it wasn't, I don't know, she was written so well. She was written it wasn't a bad writing thing, it was a good writing thing, that I hated her character so much, because she was just so useless, I guess. Like her fuckboy fling thing or whatever, like breaks up with her. No worries. Well, like it ghosts her, and then yeah, she like shows up at his gig, and he's with another girl, and it's like, yeah, he ghosted you. Like, what did you expect? Anyway, and then she like gets obsessed with this serial killer, that's in the news because all these women are like going missing and then ending up murdered, and so she gets so invested in it, like she joins this forum and stuff, and they're talking about it, and she makes posters and stuff, and it's like, okay, of course you're gonna get fired because you're not doing your job, like.
Yeah, no, Hannah's whole character is derived from like loneliness and then obsession and then oddly turned on with the fact that she could potentially associate with an alleged serial killer and then bang an alleged serial killer as well. It was crazy.
Like she kind of likes, yeah, like the thrall of it all.
Yeah. And again, a lot of her investigative, I say investigative very loosely because she didn't investigate nothing. Again, she just made posters and just sussed the forums. But she, I forgot what I was going to say, but anyway, and yeah, obviously she's putting a lot of time and energy into that, and which then caused underperformance at her actual job. A lot of her investigative work is in line with her feminist ideas, and like she was doing it because women were getting murdered, and she's seeing this as like an attack on women and acts of misogyny, etc., which is a great ideals to have because it truly reflects society these days. And I loved that, especially in the beginning, her character is very reminiscent of these, not only pinning it on young women, but people who become obsessed with true crime and then just make it their personalities in general, being so heavily involved. She is pseudo-investigating because she's not really investigating at all. Again, she's just making posters and raising awareness, and I understand that's just as important, but she's coming off to herself as she's like an investigator.
Yeah, and she's talking to like her one friend, and then this lady that she works with, she's like, oh my god, we have to find this person, whatever. Or have you heard of, like later when they find out who it is, and she's like, have you heard about William Thompson? And people are like, who? And it's like, yeah, like the whole world doesn't know about this. You're just in your own little bubble.
Yeah, and she, even says that, like, how is this not on the forefront of your mind? And this reminds me of, especially with great access to social media, that like people can make this an entire thing and they can become super involved in their mind. They're being involved while spreading new information and trying to get their own leads. It's like, relax, you're not the detectives, you don't have right to information.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's like the people who share those like missing person.
I feel like sharing the posts is fine, but acting as an investigator yourself, it's just a little bit too far-fetched. I mean, and especially in Hannah's situation, like this is happening in a whole other state away. Like, again, it's a shame that women are dying in this book and obviously in real life, but like it's out of her control. Like, what is she to actually do? She was also, I guess, seeking some, I suppose, not only justice for women, but just, I think, her ideals in life is really stagnant and she just needed something to like perform for.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, like when I was reading and it became her obsession, that's when I started to be like, come on, girl, like be so for fucking real right now.
Girl, stand the fuck up right now. It came really across as like, pick me, choose me, love me. And it took her a long time to realize, maybe it took her to halfway of the book to realize that, you know, her behavior and actions actually do have like lively consequences towards the victims and the people around her. And it was even stated that she was going to end up like one of those women who follow like the serial killers or fall in love with serial killers, a la Ted Bundy, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you not see that you are turning into that? She's just so unhinged and crazy. And again, it's just derived from loneliness and obsession and horniness in a way, because she wants to be different.
Anyway, the alleged murderer is found out and is put on trial, and his name is William Thompson. He's like a rich man, rich lawyer. And Hannah writes him a letter and is like, pretty much like, fuck you, you're a monster, blah,
like
blah,
berating him, essentially.
Yeah, berating him.
How can you kill women, blah, blah, blah.
And then, surprisingly, William writes her back. And then, you know, over the course of several months, they are writing each other. And he's kind of, you know, telling her about his past mistakes and stuff. But he never outwardly admits to it. or the murders, or he never apologized. And she like brings it up to like how he never apologizes for the actual murders and stuff. And this is at the point where I'm like, sus.
Oh, okay, yep,
Yeah,
fair
because
enough.
I was like, surely you'd think he'd acknowledge it or whatever.
And it could go either way. Like, he's either not doing it because he is innocent, or he isn't doing it because he doesn't want to scare a potential weird love interest or hey. Well, I suppose she was gonna be with him whether he was guilty or not as well.
And then because she wants the excitement, and then she is talking to her friend about it one night, like about them running each other or whatever. And then her friend's like, don't fall in love with a serial killer. Then eventually, like, it turns, oh, I've never met anyone like you. Blah, 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 you know me so well. And then he's like, I want to ask if you'll be my girlfriend. And she's like, yes, of course I will.
This is crazy behavior.
Yes.
I mean, we do learn a lot about both of them through the letter method as well. Again, letters, I thought, at least, I ended up buying it on the Kindle because it would make me read faster. But I thought, like, there'd be more, like, creativeness in how the letters were presented on the screen, but I don't know if it was different in the book, but that sort of element semi-bothered me.
Yeah.
But again, it was just the Kindle.
They were just in italic.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just expecting, like, a nice letter format. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so we learn about William and his family, rich family. He was set up for greatness, following in his father's footsteps, becoming a lawyer, being rich. Him and his brother have like an odd relationship, and then Hannah's talking about like her family and everything, and it's just another way to push the narrative and push their relationship as well. Because up until essentially the third part, they're only exclusively talking through letters.
And so then his trial comes up, and she's like, I'm gonna go. And so she's in somewhere.
She's in Minnesota.
Minnesota. And the trial is in Georgia. So she's been fired from her job because she's so distracted by all this stuff going on.
She's slacking, and she's upset that no one else is obsessed with this as she is, other than her online
she's upset
forum.
that she doesn't get a promotion and gets fired instead. And it's like, well,
what do you expect?
You weren't doing your work.
If you put this much effort in the non-profit, then in this serial killer social media investigation, then you would have been the assistant director or whatever the fuck.
So then, she's fired. She ends her lease. She gets a credit card because she's like, I have no money. I need money for this. And then decides to drive to Georgia and like stay in a hotel for the duration of this trial.
And at that point, they're pretty much boyfriend and girlfriend. And she's like, am I showing up to the trial under the guise of justice or as like a supportive girlfriend? There's a weird like intention moment there for her. And it's crazy. And she told William like what she was going to wear that day as well, so that he can look out for her. It's just crazy behavior.
And then, so at the trial, she meets like two other women. Yeah, it's because they're like, also because he is like very attractive. He's described as very attractive and stuff. And so he's giving Ted Bundy vibes. Yeah. Even though Ted Bundy wasn't even that attractive. But anyway.
But back in the day, women saw him like that.
Yeah. Anyway, and so it's like people kind of like, oh, you're those girls who are like obsessed with him and stuff because he's attractive. And like she doesn't tell them like, oh, I'm his girlfriend. She's just like, oh yeah, like I'm just here to support him or whatever. And there's like kind of weird jealousy issues
between the three of them. Yeah, it's funny. 'Cause, she meets a lady named Dottie who is married as well, and like she's just as obsessed with William as obviously as Hannah. And then it's either Laura or Lauren, I forget.
I think it's Lauren.
And she's like a young thing, and she already had relations with another serial killer when she was underage, and in her eyes, like all this trouble, all this behavioral disrepute is worth it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and Hannah is in her 30s and Lauren is in her 20s, so that's also like a really big point of contention as well for Hannah. Hannah is just insecure.
And just a weird dynamic that William has this group of people to support him and have their own like intentions and stuff. And this book in its entirety is just giving, I can forgive murder.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. So I think it's murder, but
Yeah. So long as he's hot and attractive and wealthy, like, who cares, right?
yeah.
And then Hannah's behavior just takes it to the next level. So as she's at the trial, because this trial takes a couple of weeks, and she's trying to pinpoint other evidences, and she's writing notes down. She has columns in a writing book about what
Guilty,
points to
not
make.
guilty.
Yeah, guilty, not guilty, and just writing notes and everything. And then she decides to take it a step further. In order to really, truly understand William Thompson, she decides to kind of try and go after his family and figure out what they know. And that is just...
so bizarre. I mean, they're happy because they're such an affluent family, and obviously support William. And then so they're like, oh, like, thank you so much for the support. But again, like, they don't even know her relationship with him. Yeah. Which you think that, I don't know, you think that he would have said something to them.
Well, maybe he's just not really trying to write to his family.
So she, like, befriends his family, and, like, his dad is really receptive to it. His mum is kind of, like, thinks that she wants to fuck his dad.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's like, funny. It's really humorous.
Yeah, and then he has a brother, Bentley, as well, who has a wife and a couple of kids and, like, another one on the way. But he is giving sus fuck.
And yeah, as Hannah is trying to befriend the Thompson family and weasel some information out of them, which again is crossing such a very strict boundary. It is giving those social media detectives who want to reach out to victims' family members via Facebook and the internet and all that stuff. It's just weird and creepy and unnecessary. But anyway, she ends up going to one of the victims who worked at a gym, and she tried to get close with the sister, and that's when Hannah sort of gets a little call out from the victim's sister, being like, "You're being weird and creepy." Like,
yeah, and also because she's like, she sees her at the trial, so she's
and recognize her in support
she's like,
of William.
she's like, I've seen you, yeah.
And yeah, at a couple of trial days, like, all the victim's family are pointing Hannah out and just being mean to her, justifiably so, because you are being extremely weird right now and just a gross person. And yeah, that's when Mark Thompson, William's dad, steps forward and is then becoming receptive to all this, because he just sees, a girl bullying another girl over a trial.
Hannah starts to think that maybe, like, Mark could have been the murderer, and she starts stalking the family, essentially. Like, following them around, and she follows so she follows Mark to a Starbucks, and he is meeting up with Lauren. And then so she's watching, she's like, oh my god, Lauren's gonna get killed, or Lauren's trying to fuck the dad. It's a whole thing. And then Lauren clocks her though, and is like, next time you want to check up on me, like, text me.
Again, it's another element of jealousy there, because Lauren's saying, I just want the law networking, because they run a big law firm. But honestly, I felt that tension. I felt like something mustn't be right, because Mark was being sus. He was driving to all the victims' last whereabouts and everything. And it's like, well, why are you tracing steps? Are you trying to figure something out, or are you trying to maybe hide something that's incriminating? And then even Hannah herself decided to try and do a little hop around on her own, but she, again, getting called out as part of a weird person for trying to self-insert herself in this as well, which is great. I liked the balance of that, because, though she is exhibiting crazy and unhinged behaviour that seems completely otherworldly, at the same time she is getting called out here and there, because obviously this is not okay. You have nothing to do with this, you're just taking this on.
She sees Mark as well, like, meeting up with, like, a younger woman, and he kisses her hand and stuff, and she's like, oh my god, he's having an affair.
Yeah, it's like she's trying to unravel more nefarious issues amongst this Thompson family, because they are the epitome of privilege and wealth in this state, and have a lot of power.
She also gets closer to Bentley, and at one point he kind of invites her for drink, and he ends up kissing her. Scandalous.
I vibed with that.
I thought you vibed with that.
I felt the tension. It was necessary.
And then she went to the bathroom and came back and discovered that Bentley had left the building.
Because he's semi-asking questions and being like, trying to get information out of her, but about how she knows William and how they communicate. What does she know about him, etc., which is fair, but he was a bit too friendly about it, which was obviously suspicious.
And this is the first moment that I was suspicious of him because he up and left.
Yeah, after getting the information that he wanted as well. Yeah, he was sus for me for a little while, but then, yeah, kind of like you, I needed a final moment to confirm it, and I'm sure you can, later on when it comes up, you'll let me know when the moment was for you.
Yeah.
Hannah thinks she has an in, like she's friendly with the family to a degree. She can trust Bentley, she can trust Mark. She's supporting William on the outside. She feels like she's doing such a good job. And I think throughout Hannah and Bentley's interactions, Hannah trusts him enough to be able to talk about the letters that she's written to William and how much they love each other, quote unquote.
Yeah. And their relationship to each other.
And then Bentley also kind of opens up to Hannah being like, trying to pull some dirt on William, being like, because the way the trial's working, they're trying to paint William in such a good light, like was not a violent person, would never hurt a fly, etc., etc. But then Bentley, almost a bit sheepishly, as if he's trying to hide something, is like, well, William was competitive, William chased him around with a knife when he was younger, all that type of stuff.
Dead animals.
Yeah, the full-on serial killer, psychopathic sort of behaviour exhibited as a child, etc., etc. And and Hannah's all like, well, why haven't you said anything to the police? And it's just a whole thing. Like, there's a huge devotion to family loyalty as well, despite everything.
It's time for them to come to their verdict, the jury.
There's also another murder throughout the trial. And
that's right. And that
throws a spanner in the works, and it kind of, in a way, confirms that William is innocent, because how could he kill another woman if he's in jail?
Well, there's a whole thing about, like, it could be a copycat, but it's, like, in the same area, or the same, like, trench.
Same ravine. Yeah, because these ladies would just get bodies dumped in the ravine, and that's how they're found. And deliberation day, of course, the final verdict. Given the impact of the recent murder, it's been decided that William is innocent. Not guilty.
And then he, immediately goes to Hannah's hotel room. Which, first of all, how did he know she was there?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a great. I think there was a description about how he figured it out, but
I think like she must have told him, but it was just like skipped over, which is fine. But
William's at the door, and there's a sense of tension there, because though he may be not guilty, Hannah still has this thrall of him potentially still being a serial killer. Regardless.
And, like, that's kind of what she gets off on, like...
Yeah, I know, it's absolutely crazy. Take a shot every time we say it's insane or crazy behaviour or whatever. So William and Hannah meet for the very first time.
But I think that was the whole thing. Like, at the end of the day, I don't think she was attracted to William. Like, I think she would have been attracted to any serial killer. Like, she just wanted the like, risk of danger.
Yeah, for sure. And because at this point, her life, it's not really going anywhere. Again, she lost her job. She has no real motivation for that. She's only motivated and obsessed with this whole true crime element. And that comes with a risk of danger. And I think, she at the end of the day, she just wants to fuck a serial killer, alleged or not. So William and Hannah meet for the very first time. William proposes, like, straight away.
First they fuck.
Okay, I forgot which order of events happened, because I know... Because, I think she described that he obviously fucked, like, someone who hasn't fucked a woman in a long time, etc., because he's been in jail.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, obviously.
And then even then, Hannah still has that little bit of anxiety. All right, when's he going to kill me? Because there's this whole little montage of him undressing her, and she's like, I wonder if this is how all the other victims were. And then she has her neck exposed, and she's like, she's waiting for the rope, but instead it's just him kissing her neck, etc., etc. Which I liked, because, it at the end of the day, she's turned on by the thrall of potentially dying. And then William's all like, he doesn't want to let someone like her go, because they feel intricately connected or intrinsically connected. I think later on it's described, I think through Bentley, but Hannah is the type of person that is definitely not what his family envisioned for him, because he's all about success, wealth, privilege, and at this point in time she's anything but that. She has no job, she currently lives with her parents, people would find that unattractive, and they think she's just gold digging him because he's footing her life bill from this point on, essentially.
Yes. Well, because she immediately moves in with him. And she's always wanted to write a book, so he's bankrolling her life so that she can write this book. And he's like going off and doing like his things all day or whatever, and he's just like this is all yours. And she's still on this, like she still doesn't know if he's guilty or not guilty. So she's still like, when he leaves, like is investigating all these things, and she finds a matchbook from the bar that one of the recent murder from, and a few other things that could point to him being guilty, but could also just be coincidences. Honestly, a judge and a jury have said that he is not guilty. At this point, even if he is a serial killer, like
he's not going to want to kill straight away.
Exactly.
As well. Like you got to be smart about it.
Yeah, exactly. And he's I don't know. I feel like he's not going to kill you because obviously all his family and stuff know about you. So if you suddenly go missing, then
yeah, like last thing he'd want to do is parade you around.
Yeah. And it's like this hot
fiance
lawyer, rich man is bankrolling your life. Like, shut up and take it.
Hey, and if he kills you at the end of the day, then hey, it was a good life. You know? Oh, that's just another thing as well. Just when Hannah was tied up, even in the beginning of the book, she's already musing and sensationalizing her inevitable death. And like that's the thing with women who are again obsessed with true crime these days, is they're all like, well, if I die or if something terrible happens to me, I want it to be a podcast episode or I want it to be an actual documentary. And it's like, no, you don't want to be sensationalized like that. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So, well, like Hannah's found all these things or whatever, and she's freaking out because she's like, oh my God, like he has these, little trophies.
Yeah, I also feel like if you still have this major anxiety of the fact that he's going to kill you, then this is not a good relationship to be in to begin with.
And also she finds letters from other women that were writing him while he was in jail. And she's like, oh my God, like he didn't tell me. And it's like, no, he doesn't have to.
Why would he?
Yeah. Because at the start, you were like, you fucking monster.
And he kept some of those letters from other women describing him as a monster and a terrible person, etc., etc. He was really into his self-deprecating and loneliness as well in jail. And of course, he was going to keep some mementos from the women who have written to him, whether they be awful or low-key horny towards him.
Okay.
And then, again, Hannah has that, like, little bit of jealousy, like, because she's not the only one to do it, because these women, especially in this world, think they're, like, the only ones that can change him or are becoming obsessed with serial killers and these people. It's crazy. You're not the only one. And that's just also the epitome of the entire book. Like, she's not the only one who probably could have gone so as far as she had. It could have been Laura or Lauren, and it could have been Dottie. It could be anyone.
Yeah. I guess, she was just the first one to write back once he wrote to her. Anyway, so once she finds all these things and she's having a freak out, she, like, calls Bentley and she's like, we need to go to the bar and, like, investigate. And Bentley was like, lol, okay.
This sort of part of the book, I don't know, I was kind of losing a little bit of interest because I feel like I wanted it to be done. I didn't really care about the Kelsey Jenkins storyline.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I wasn't like, oh, I want this to be done, but I was just in the headspace of what's the point? Because unless we're going to find out that it was actually him, then I didn't know why we needed that kind of continuation.
Yeah, I was kind of fading out. Because, it was either, all right, William is absolutely innocent and they were probably going to find the actual killer together, or he was just going to kill her, and that would have been exactly kind of what Hannah wanted anyway. So, like, I was content with how the ending was going to be, regardless, if Hannah did end up dying.
So, anyway, they go to this bar, and then it was at this point that I figured it out.
Her and Bentley, by the way.
Yeah. So, and at this point is when I figured it out.
Okay, cool. You figured it out earlier than I did.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell why first. Okay.
Oh wait, I don't know.
Yeah, because they're in the bar or whatever, and I think they're like asking questions. But like Bentley says, "Oh, I've never been here before," or something, and then someone comes up to him though and buys him a drink. He's like, "Oh," or something. He's like, "Oh, I haven't seen you around here in a while."
Okay, I think this was after the release party that his family held for him. Okay, so I figured it out actually earlier than you then, but. No, well, the confirmation was because Bentley always said that William was competitive, and at the release party, Bentley one-upped William's secondary proposal by announcing that they're pregnant again. And so that's when I was like, wait, if William was competitive, why would he allow that as well? Yeah. So that's when I got extra sussy-wussy.
Yeah. Well, this is where it was confirmed for me. And then, I was like, oh no. And then he drugged her, didn't he?
Yeah, he came back the next day.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Under the guise of an apology, gives some fast food. Turns out it was drugged.
Oh yeah, because also William is like, what is going on between you and Bentley? Like, I know that something's going on because you keep hanging out and it's weird.
Yeah, which it is weird. Whether or not you're still trying to be an investigator or not, like, yeah, you gotta cover your bases. And also, a weird thing for Hannah to do was for the release party, she dyed her hair the same colour of Anna Lee, one of the first original victims. It's like, that's crazy! Yeah. You're trying to imitate yourself being a victim. It's fucked up. Yeah. And she's also trying to be sus by sneaking in all the house rooms and everything as well. Again, leading her little investigation, which she's only doing it because she was able to get an in a relationship and everything, and she has that freedom. No regular person would be able to do that.
Yes, anyway, Bentley drugs Hannah. And then, yeah, we are now kind of present day in the undisclosed location. And you find out that, yeah, it's Bentley who's been the murderer the whole time.
It was Bentley all along.
Yes, and I forget why he did it.
I think it's just because he's psychotic and he just wanted to be competitive against William. He was the competitive one. And also, unless it was just another lie spun, because he blamed William for the death of an old girlfriend back in high school.
Which it was, you find out it was Bentley's fault anyway.
Yeah, Bentley is just psychotic.
And he also planted, like, the matchbook and I think it was like a business card or something.
Yeah, and a hair tie and all that stuff. Yeah, but it turned out, Bentley was the one who, as a child, chased William around with a knife. He was the one that left dead animals in the room. He was the asshole all along. And I think, I don't know, I want to say, like, though it was a nice revelation, I still felt like it was a little weak because his motivation or the relationship dynamic between the two characters was that they would always try and get each other in trouble. And if you're well into your 30s, why is that behaviour still being exhibited? And especially under the guise of society, Bentley is a lot more successful because he has a family and obviously a good lawyer job as well. Like, why is the competitiveness still happening to the point where now you're actually murdering real life people in order to fuck each other up?
I agree.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And this is where Hannah gets really fucking silly. So yeah, she's being all tied up. And in a way, she's getting a bit horny. She's so turned on. Yeah. She's into it. And so Bentley is kind of being flirtatious, though he's kind of threatening to kill her. Or he likes the idea of also this being Hannah's last moments, because his intention is to kill her. They fuck.
And she's like, I'll fuck you if you let me live.
And he's like, nah, mate.
Yeah. And so but they fuck anyway.
But like, yeah, you wouldn't say it was coercion because she wanted it. It's something that she's wanted all along. Like, at the end of the day, she wanted to fuck a serial killer. And that's what she got. Yeah. Even though it's such a precarious situation.
And he's, like, laying her to filth. He's, like, saying everything. He's like, this is what you wanted. Like, you don't even love, like, William. You just wanted, like, to fuck a serial killer. Like,
yeah, and she's not denying it. So, yeah, I just feel like in this moment, a lot of people might feel a bit off-putted by it, given the nature that she's tied up and she's being held against her will. Like, people would see this as a very rapey situation, but I feel like it's not. If you read the book, you obviously know that it's not that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so obviously it was unprotected sex as well, because of course. Yeah. If you're a serial killer, why would you want to be nice now? Yeah. And show courtesy. So yeah, they fuck. It's a fun time, kind of.
God.
And then William rocks up and saves the day. Though there was an opportunity to kill Bentley, he doesn't do it because, again, this devotion to family loyalty. And he super threatens Bentley, being like, don't ever come back into the state or whatever ever again. If I ever find out where you are, your wife and kids would be super embarrassed or would want to change the names. Like, pretty much killing any association.
I was kind of disappointed that William just essentially let him go.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of wanted him to kill him because I just wanted even though he was innocent, I wanted there to be something.
Yeah, I just wanted there to be a more defining outcome. Even if Bentley did die, like, I'd be happy with that. That way the cycle has ended and he won't be left wanting to feel the urge to kill anybody again.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's already killed animals, like, what's going to stop him from just killing other random women?
Mm-hmm.
So William and Hannah go back to, I guess, their house. William is just dejected, and he's just like a little bit messed up about it. Because then it just revealed that he's actually a good, decent guy. Like, he was just a victim in all this, and Bentley was trying to make him psychotic and make him question his whole life, because all these strings of murders are happening, are targeted for William, and it's driving him crazy. And he even says, like, am I killing people in my sleep? Like, what's going on? Because what are the odds of all these women being connected to him in his mind?
Exactly. And, yeah, I also kind of enjoyed how he was like, we have to break up.
Yeah, I love that. That was the best outcome, because there's no way you can have a proper, loving, fulfilling relationship after that. Like, that's crazy to think that everything could go back to normal. And he doesn't trust her as well, because, again, he was proven innocent, and yet she was still investigating and snooping and trying to get the dirt on him. Like how can they come back from that?
That's true. Yeah, because, she will never trust him completely.
And she's... in a weird, really disturbing way, cheated on him too. You're like, well, like, where do you go? What do you do?
Yes.
And I also made the note that, of course, Bentley has a whopping penis.
Yes, of course.
Because Hannah made note of that.
Yes. And then we end up, like, there's a little bit of a time jump or whatever, and Hannah ends up back in Wisconsin, and Minnesota. Sorry, why am I getting Wisconsin?
I was just gonna say, is Wisconsin
in Minnesota? Yes. Yes.
Or is it Minneapolis where she is? I'm not sure.
Anyway, doesn't matter. She's in an undisclosed city.
She's back home, wherever that may be.
And she is working in a coffee shop which I thought was hilarious. Yeah, as a barista. She
very downgraded her life ever since.
And then her ex-boyfriend comes in. I forget his name. Max.
Yeah, Max. Because a lot of motivation throughout the book is to, in a way, get over Max and just kind of pose as she's doing better than him as well, better in life. And this was all one huge excitement for her.
And so Max comes in with his girlfriend, and there's kind of a moment where his girlfriend walks away, and he kind of stays at the counter to talk to her. And then, would you like to talk about what happens next?
Yeah, I thought he sat back down, but they kind of looked at each other. Yeah. So Max gives her a little look up and down, and then the next lot of descriptions is Hannah's has a swollen belly. Yes. So she's pregnant. Yes. So she's pregnant. And it's a big what the fuck moment, because even after breaking up with William, she was dating other men. So there's this possibility of anyone could be the father of this baby. It's
one of the brothers.
Yeah, no. But there's a sliver of doubt there, though, because she was still dating and hooking up with guys post-event. So, it could be anyone. I thought that was the inclination.
The inclination is that it's one of the brothers, and that was the,
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. But then I feel like it's Bentley.
Yeah, obviously.
But, yeah, the big revelation is that she's pregnant at the end, and, who's the daddy? Yeah. We don't know.
So, I hated this ending. I hated that she was...
I liked it.
I hated that she was... Yeah, I didn't enjoy that she was pregnant. I thought that was stupid. I would have liked it better if, she ended up, back where she started, and if she hooked back up with Max, because I would have enjoyed it I would have liked if she, literally, was in a dead-end job again, hooking up with someone who doesn't emotionally fulfill her either. It's you did all this, and for what? Yeah.
You burned full circle moment.
You burned all your bridges.
No, I liked it, the fact that she was pregnant, because it adds to her hysteria and unhinged behaviour, because now she's a part, this baby it still connects her to a serial killer, and it connects her to the Thompson family still. I don't think she wants to run away from these memories. I feel like this is a period of her life that she's going to hold on to. It's going to be her entire personality. Yeah. Because she feels like she was also a victim in a sense as well. This was going to happen to her, so now this is a part of her story.
And she is one of those girls.
Exactly, and which is crazy and unhinged. And I think she likes that though as well.
Yes.
Now that this is her story, a self-insert as well in the beginning, and then ended up she's became another victim. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yes.
Hannah, the unhinged idiot.
Yes.
God damn. Would you go this far for a hot serial killer?
I wouldn't ruin my life.
But you would forgive murder.
Yeah, but I would forgive murder.
Oh, yeah, and another quick thing that Hannah kind of drove home to William is that, because she's questioning why he won't call the police or he won't put his brother away, etc. And she's like, well, now you're part of the problem. in a way, murdered the women as well by letting your brother go, etc. But then now I'm thinking, aren't you doing the exact same thing? Because you could just call the police and tell them what happens.
Yeah.
So now you're a part of the problem.
Especially, if you went right now and got a, rape kit done.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very unhinged. But yeah, at the end of the day, it is like a light commentary on women and their obsession with true crime, which is great.
Shall we go to the Stars That Listen?
We shall.
The Stars That Listen is a segment that we do at the end of our podcast where we find a 5-star review and a 1-star review that we resonate with or want to fight with. And we always start with the 1 stars because we like to end on a positive note. Do you want me to go first?
You can go first, sure.
I have 2 1 stars. I hate rating things low, so it almost pains me to rate this a 1 star, but upon reflection, I really didn't like this book. Our female main character, Hannah, is annoying, unreliable, and desperately needs therapy. She has a hard-on for being murdered in the midst of an ongoing serial killer case. She becomes obsessed with William, who is on trial for multiple murders. They write one another, and magically a relationship evolves, and Hannah needs attention. Once all of the characters are introduced, it's obvious who the killer is. He is arrogant, and it's not a surprise when things are revealed to be twisted. Jealousy is a bitch, but the 2 things that sealed the 1 star for me were, I'll let you fuck me if you let me live, followed by her having the best orgasm of her life because danger. She ends up pregnant by one of the brothers. This made me irrationally angry. Nope. And then I have thank you, Berkeley, for the gifted copy. As we all know, every book is not for every reader, and unfortunately that was the case with this one for me. So it's just funny that it...
Oh, I have the rest of that entire paragraph.
Was there more? Oh, there was more. Oh.
Yeah, it was a huge one.
Anyway.
Don't worry, I can read that as part of mine.
Okay.
It's okay. Okay, so my 1-star review is this entire paragraph. As we all know, every book is not for every reader, and unfortunately this was the case with this one for me. I found the female main character Hannah completely insufferable, hypocritical, and irredeemable. She will talk about how in love she is with her accused serial killer boyfriend, and in the same breath go to say the victims of his alleged crimes deserve justice. As a character, she made no sense, and I found her absolutely exhausting. There were also certain times in the book felt written for the male gaze. The line, before she was murdered, Kelsey Jenkins was a bartender. She had the right look for the profession, with big boobs and a tiny waist. Really gave me pause. It's disappointing that a line in this would be written by a woman. The ending of the book also wrapped up incredibly quickly, and it left a lot to be desired for me.
Did you just have that 1 star?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll go to my 5 star. This book was chef's kiss, and I devoured every page of it. The writing was so raw, relatable, twisted, and sexy. I can't believe this is a debut novel. I related to Hannah's inner monologue in so many ways and really enjoyed the ride she took us on. This will be my top 10 for 2024.
And my 5-star reviews, I have 2 on the same screenshot. I love this book. It's such a twisted, satirical story about an unhinged woman who falls for a serial killer. And then, oh my god, I'm speechless. Truly the best mystery novel I've ever read. I need this book injected into my veins.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it was intriguing.
Perfect.
And it's a different murder mystery sort of take.
Yeah, I like those. Yes, like, unserious. Alright, everybody, that brings us to the end of Love Letters to a Serial Killer. Thank you for listening to our podcast. You can find us on socials on Instagram at letterbox_book_club. From there, our link tree is in our bio, where you'll find us in all the places: Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, if you're like that. And, at the end of the day, don't write serial killers.
No, don't fall in love with them, because there's a chance they might actually kill you.
Yeah.
Unless you know they're away for life and you just want a little pen pal, because a cheeky pen pal is fine, so long as there's no feelings and no acting upon anything.
Yeah. All their brothers will murder you.
Don't be like the Ted Bundy chick who got pregnant.
Yes.
Which was also brought up in this book, of course.
Anyway,
serial killers aren't worth it.
Thank you all for listening.
Alrighty, catch us next week. I'm not sure what's out, but whatever's out will be out.
Stay safe out there.
Stay safe. Yes.
Bye.
Bye.